The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans.
Present.
Alderwoman Hubbard.
Present.
Alderwoman Ingracia.
Present.
Alderman Coder.
Here.
Alderwoman Rice.
Ain't got on handicap.
Alderman Gunther.
Here.
Alderman Balmer.
Present.
Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Grass.
Present.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Here.
Alderwoman Howard.
Present.
Alderwoman Green.
Present.
That's not me.
Alderman Oldenburg. Alderman Roddy.
Present.
Alderman Todd.
Present.
Alderwoman Davis.
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer.
Present.
Alderman Muhammad.
Present.
Alderman Boyd.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderman Narayan.
Present.
Alderman Cone.
Present.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Here.
Alderwoman Navarro.
Present.
President Reed.
Here.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Rice. Alderwoman Martin.
Present.
Alderman Oldenburg. 25 present.
Quorum being present, we will begin today's meeting with prayer. Giving all honor to God, Almighty God, source of all authority, we humbly ask guidance in our deliberations and wisdom in our conclusions. Amen. We would dispense with line item 3, introduction of honored guests. Any introduction of honored guests? Alderman from the 23rd.
Yes, as always, I would like to have as my special guest, Greg Meyer. And today I welcome my dogs. You heard them barking.
Okay, that was you. Okay. Any further introductions? Alderman from the 10th, like to wrap us up?
Thank you, Mr. President. Today is October 16th. It was on this day in 1964, the manager of the Yankees, Yogi Berra, was fired after losing the World Series to the St. Louis Cardinals. Poor St. Louis guy let us win. It's also Boss's Day, so technically, President Reed, happy Boss's Day.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes, Friday, October the 9th, 2020.
Alderman from 22nd, you recognize on approval of the minutes.
Good morning, Mr. President, members of the board. I move for approval of the minutes dated October the, oh man, just month.
9th.
Thank you, the 9th, 2020.
Second.
It's been moved by Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by Alderman from the 10th and Alderman from the 13th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the alderman's mailboxes.
We'll dispense with line item 7. Would anyone like to take any bills or any resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? Would anyone like to take any bills or resolutions off of any of our informal calendars? We'll dispense with line items 8 through 10. First reading of board bills.
Board Bill 143, sponsored by Alderman Roddy, an ordinance to submit a 2021 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development as required to apply for funding under the under the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership, Emergency Solutions Grant, and Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS, HOPWA, entitlement programs, authorizing and directing the mayor and the comptroller on behalf of the city of St. Louis to enter into and execute agreements with HUD for the receipt of 2021 CDBG, Home, ESG, and HOPWA funds. Board Bill 144, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 68294 and 67089 and authorizing the execution of a lease agreement between the City of St. Louis, Missouri and SI Warehousing Company, Inc., a Missouri corporation for a period of 10 years with 2 5-year and 1 4-year mutual options for the purpose of mooring only of 1,683 linear feet for anchorage and mooring for barges and other vessels and containing a severability clause. Board Bill 145, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, an ordinance authorizing the execution of a new lease agreement between the City of St. Louis, Missouri and SI Warehousing Company for a period of 10 years with 3 5-year mutual options containing a severability clause. Board Bill 146, sponsored by Alderwoman Navarro and Alderwoman Gracia, an ordinance amending ordinance number 70892 to restrict installation of small wireless facilities in the right-of-way adjacent to the frontage of single-family lots and containing an emergency clause and a severability clause. Board Bill 147, sponsored by Alderman Todd, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic on Vernon Avenue by blocking said traffic flow at the west curb line of North Kingshighway Boulevard at the intersection of Vernon Avenue and North Kingshighway Boulevard. That is the extent of first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee.
To the HUD Committee, Board Bill 143. To Transportation and Commerce, Board Bill 144 and 145. To Streets Committee, Board Bill 146 and 147. That is the extent of reference to committee.
Second reading.
The following board bills were reported out of the Streets Committee with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 123, sponsored by Alderman Todd, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic on Maple Avenue by blocking said traffic flow at the east curb line of North Kingshighway Boulevard at the intersection of Maple Avenue and North Kingshighway Boulevard. Board Bill 124, sponsored by Alderman Todd, an ordinance pertaining to commercial vehicles as such term is defined herein and prohibiting such traffic along CD Banks Avenue from the eastern boundary of North Newstead Avenue to the eastern boundary of Pendleton Avenue and exempting from said prohibition non-commercial pickup trucks and emergency vehicles, including privately owned tow trucks, when providing emergency service to non-commercial vehicles, vehicles making deliveries to nearby addresses, and vehicles with a gross vehicle weight of 10,000 pounds or greater and containing an emergency clause. The following board bill was reported out of the Coronavirus Special Committee. Board Bill 134, sponsored by Alderman Coulter, President Reed, and Alderwoman Gracia. An ordinance approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment and authorizing the City Board of Election Commissioners to accept the Center for Tech and Civic Life COVID-19 Response Grant, $34,200 to provide financial assistance to local election officials for the expenses incurred between June 15, 2020 and December 31st, 2020, associated with the safe administration of election responsibilities, including safe election day for administration and containing an emergency clause.
Madam Clerk, please make note that's $1,034, $1,034,200.
Okay.
All right.
The following board bills were reported out of the HUD Committee with the due pass recommendation. Board Bill 61, sponsored by Alderwoman Navarro, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on June 3rd, 2020 to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map and in City Block 522 from A Single Family Dwelling District to H Area Commercial District to the H Area Commercial District only at 5720 DeGiverville Avenue, so as to include the described parcels of land in City Block 5522 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 62, sponsored by Alderman Boyd, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on June 3rd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map from B, two-family dwelling district, to F, neighborhood commercial district in City Block 3833.18, so as to include the described parcel of land in City Block 3833.18 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 99, sponsored by Alderman Roddy, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on February 3rd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map and in City Block 3953 from K unrestricted district to J industrial district at 510 South Sarah Street, so as to include the described parcel of land in City Block 3953 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 101, sponsored by Alderman Vaccaro, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September the 2nd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map from the A single-family dwelling district to F neighborhood commercial district in City Block 4669, so as to include the described parcel of land in City Block 4669 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 102, sponsored by Alderman Roddy, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September 2nd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map from J Industrial District to H Area Commercial District in City Block 3904, so as to include the described parcels of land in City Block 3904 and contain an emergency clause. Board Bill 103, sponsored by Alderwoman Spencer, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September 2nd, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on district map and in City Block 1648 from B, two-family dwelling district to D, multiple family dwelling district at 3600 and 3620 Texas Avenue, so as to include the described parcel of land in City Block 1648 and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 104, sponsored by Alderman Roddy, an ordinance recommended by the Planning Commission on September 18, 2020, to change the zoning of property as indicated on the Forest Park Southeast Farm-Based District map from NG2 Neighborhood General Type 2 Zone, NG3 Neighborhood General Type 3, and B2 Boulevard Type 2 to B2 Boulevard Type 2 Zone, only in City Block 3983 containing an emergency clause. The following board bill was reported out of public safety with a do pass recommendation. Board Bill 114 as amended, sponsored by President Reed, Alderman Vaccaro, Alderman Muhammad, and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. An ordinance making a supplemental appropriation as authorized by the City St. Louis Charter, Article 16, Section 6 of the Annual Budget Ordinance 71160 for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2020, and ending June 30th, 2021, amounting to the sum of $2 million for the purpose of establishing the Justice for St. Louis Families Fund, which will provide funding for cash rewards for tips and leads that ultimately end in the arrest of anyone for the crime of murder in St. Louis and contain an emergency clause. That is the extent of second reading report of standing committees.
Alderman from the 7th, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move to suspend the rules for the purposes of moving Board Bill 134 to the perfection calendar.
Second.
Been moved by the Alderman from the 7th, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? It's been moved and seconded that we suspend our rules for purposes of moving Board Bill 134 to the perfection calendar. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingracia.
Aye.
Alderman Coder.
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice.
Aye.
Alderman Gunther.
Aye.
Alderman Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Grass,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy,
Aye.
Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Thank you. Alderman Roddy,
Roddy is aye. Roddy is aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer, Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Narayan,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro,
Aye.
President Reed,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
28 aye votes.
I vote, you sustain the motion, Alderman from the 7th, and suspend the rules for purposes of moving Board Bill 134. We will dispense with line item 14, perfection consent.
Board Bill 113, sponsored by Alderman Bosley, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to amend Section 1 of Ordinance 71210 dated July 24th, 2020 by revising the legal description of Stoddard Street from Jefferson Avenue to Elliott Avenue in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill 126, sponsored by Alderwoman Clark Hubbard and President Reed, an ordinance authorizing and directing the fire commissioner on behalf of the mayor and the city of St. Louis to enter into and execute a grant agreement with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency through the Missouri Department of Homeland Security for the purpose of funding to support the cybersecurity coordinator position at the St. Louis Fusion Center upon the approval of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, and to expend funds by entering into contracts or otherwise for grant purposes and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 127, sponsored by Alderwoman Clark Hubbard and President Reed, an ordinance authorizing and directing the fire commissioner on behalf of the mayor and the city of St. Louis to enter into and execute a grant agreement with the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, Federal Emergency Management Agency, Fire Prevention and Safety Grant to fund the 2019 Smoke and Coal Alarm Program upon approval of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, and to expend funds by entering into contracts or otherwise for grant purposes and containing an emergency clause. That is the extent of perfection consent calendar.
Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize on the motion for the perfection consent calendar.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move for adoption of the perfection consent calendar.
Second.
Moved by the Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 14th and the Alderman from the 10th. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded that we adopt our perfection consent calendar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Board bills for perfection.
Board Bill 94, sponsored by Alderman Todd, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor and comptroller of the city of St. Louis to execute upon receipt of and in consideration of the sum $250 and other good and valuable consideration, a quit claim deed to Remise, Release, and forever quit claim unto the Veterans Community Project, a certain city-owned property located in City Block 1868, which property is known and numbered as 3724 Aldine in the city of St. Louis, Missouri.
Alderman from the 18th, recognized on the perfection of Board Bill number 94.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion that we
Perfect
So-
Board.
perfect Board Bill 94.
It's been moved by
Second.
Alderman from the 18th.
Second.
I
Second.
didn't catch twice. I know I heard the Alderman from the 23rd, but there were several other
I'm
ones.
good.
There were
Yeah, I
several
want
other
a second.
seconds also, and Alderman from the first. Alderman from the 18th, please proceed.
First of all, this Board Bill is 50 houses in the 18th Ward. It would take care of homeless veterans. And when we say homeless veterans, when we say the definition of veterans in this bill is that anyone who raised their hand to protect our country will be allowed. We will have 50 houses. The veterans will be trained, will be encouraged to become independent and get jobs and get their own home. It will be a huge step for our veterans, and it will help our community. It will also help our tax base. It will be a very humane and we will have a groundbreaking today at 2:30 at 3724 Aldine. I hope the Board of Alder people will consider voting for this bill. As a person who was previously without a home, I feel the veterans, and let me say this, I never thought I would have the honor of being before such a distinguished body as this Board of Aldermen, Alder people, to present a bill for something that is dear to my heart, because I feel the pain, and I know what homelessness is like, and this will be something that will be with me until eternity.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Madam Clerk, please add my name to the bill. Alderman from the first.
Yes.
I was going to ask that my name, I worked with the Alderman from the 18th. He knows this quite close in making sure that this got done. So I wanted to ask if he wouldn't mind if I would add my name. Usually I don't add my name to other people's bills in their wards, but this was something that we did collaborate on. And if the Alderman from the 18th doesn't mind, I would like to add my name.
Okay.
I certainly would love for you to add your name, and I appreciate the help that you.
All right, thank you. Alderman from the 13th.
Yes, I had requested last week from Alderman Todd to have my name as a co-sponsor also. Thank you.
I would love to have Alderman from the 13th, who's a longtime committee person, friend of mine, have her name added.
All right. Alderman Narayan. Sorry, I missed you the first time.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to thank Alderman Todd for his work on this. I don't think it's any secret that a lot of our homeless are veterans, and some of these folks are suffering from PTSD and addiction issues that stem directly from their service to our country. And I'm a pretty firm believer that when we ask someone to serve our country and they do so honorably, that we have a responsibility to those men and women. After looking at similar projects in other cities that have given a hand up to these veterans and allowed them to pull themselves back up, I can't help but think that we should be doing more of these projects in our city, both for veterans and for folks who haven't served. This is absolutely going to help get folks off of our streets and back into work, back into school. And ultimately, I believe it'll save our city money, it'll help our community, and it'll ultimately help some of our most vulnerable residents. I can't commend Alderman Todd enough. And with his permission, I would move that this bill go in bank.
If you have my permission, again, this distinguished and honorable board, certainly I feel honored to be amongst such a distinguished group of leaders in our community.
It's been
Second that.
a motion by the Alderman.
Second.
24th, seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd, and the Alderman from the 19th, and I heard someone else, it may have been the Alderman from the 26th, that we make this bill in bank. Without any objection, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make a note of that. Add every alderman's name to the bill as co-sponsors. Alderman from the 6th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to add my name as congratulating Alderman Todd and all the other individuals and organizations who work collaboratively to make this happen. We know how to work with our unhoused neighbors in a way that takes in best practices and looks at other models across the country. And so it's long overdue, but I'm excited that the city of St. Louis has finally taken the advice of practitioners and folks who are doing this work every single day to move forward with the project. And I hope to see it expanded in a meaningful way in the future.
All right, Alderwoman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to congratulate Alderman Todd, Alderwoman Evans. We are collaboratively in joint partnership on this project, and I cannot say enough for those who made the decision to bring the project to St. Louis. Jason Kander and others who have been very successful with this project in Kansas City knew that we were interested in this, and I'm just excited about it. And for those who did not have an opportunity to read or attend, last Saturday, we again did another project with a ribbon cutting that is going to support veterans. And it is a therapy clinic for all the brain injuries and other kinds of problems with PTSD and everything else. And so we're really glad to see that this population is getting more support because they've already given to this country, and it's definitely needed. So I'm excited when I see that smile on Jesse Todd's face because I know this is something that's dear to him. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman from the 22nd.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was just going to add my name as co-sponsor, so thank you.
Okay. Alderwoman from the 4th.
I was going to add my name as a co-sponsor as well. I didn't know if mine was already added, but I'm just thankful and grateful to be working along with Marlene Davis and Jesse Todd. Jesse Todd has done an excellent job with presenting this. I found out I was involved with this project because our wards butt together, all three of us, with this project. So I'm elated to be included in this, and I hope I see a lot of you this afternoon at 2:30 for the land dedication. That's on Aldine between Spring and Grand. That's what I have to say.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? All right, Alderman from the 18th, you recognize the close on section of Board Bill 94.
I just want to say thank you very much. I would like to close by saying thank you.
All right, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 18th, seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd that we perfect Board Bill 94. It's also been amended in bank. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries. Madam Clerk, please make note. Board Bill 94 is passed.
Oh, noted.
Perfect.
Board Bill 134, sponsored by Alderman Coder, President Reed, and Alderwoman Ingracia, an ordinance approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment and authorizing the St. Louis City Board of Election Commissioners to accept the Center for Tech and Civic Life COVID-19 response grant of $1,034,200 to provide financial assistance to local election officials for the expenses incurred between June 15, 2020 and December 31st, 2020 associated with the safe administration of election responsibilities, including safe election day administration and containing an emergency clause.
Alderman from the 7th, you recognized on the perfection of Board Bill 134.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move to perfect Board Bill 134.
Moved by the Alderman from the 7th.
Second.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from 13th, Alderman from 23rd. Alderman from the 7th, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Board Bill 134 authorizes us to accept and appropriate just over $1 million from the Center for Tech and Civic Life, which is a nonprofit organization founded by Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan. They sought to provide assistance to election authorities across the country in the form of about $300 million worth of grant funding to help local election authorities with the increased costs of running elections during a global pandemic. In the state of Missouri, approximately 30 or so local election authorities, both red and blue counties, have been awarded grants. The city was lucky enough to get just over $1 million awarded. I've been working on this for a few weeks with the new Democratic director, Ben Borgmeyer, and Mr. Stoff, the longtime Republican director at the board. And you can see the breakdown in the board bill, but the $1 million is going to be spent on increased staffing, for the satellite locations. This took a big burden off of the election board and the staffing costs they were going to be experiencing with those satellite locations and the need for additional employees to staff polling locations to help with cleaning and everything else. Also, they need additional people to help process absentee ballots because we've seen a huge influx in absentee voting, which is great. So roughly the breakdown is also they're going to get some new equipment out of this. They can only purchase equipment that they can get and deploy for this election. So, they can't replace unfortunately, all the voting equipment that desperately does need to be replaced. And I'm hoping we can find a solution for that in the next year or so. But they're buying a bunch of equipment to assist with absentee voting, sorting devices, things that rapidly open envelopes and things. I know they're also upgrading some of their tech and their servers and putting some security measures in place for their ballot counting room, which I think is important in these times. So all in all, this is great. It's somewhat time sensitive. I think they're probably already spending some of this money, but we want to make sure we properly appropriate it at least before election day, which is why I suspended the rules and asked to move it to perfection today. I'm happy to answer any questions, and I do hope you'll support this bill. And I think you all know that the election board's got a very tough job on their hands in this time, working in a pandemic with the huge increase in absentee voting, with the massive amount of people we hope show up on election day. It's going to be hard work. I think they're well equipped. We've got good leaders there at the board, and it's been an honor to work with them to help secure this funding. I'll happily answer any questions.
Alderman from the 23rd.
Yes, I don't have a question, but I think this is another one that we should do in bank if everyone's willing. I think that the satellite library, at least over at Booter, has been really busy, and appreciate all the work they do. I know I want my name added, but I would also ask that we do it in bank if everyone's in favor of that.
All right.
I'd like to second that motion.
Alderman it's been moved by the Alderman from the 23rd, seconded by the Alderman from the 14th, that we make Board Bill 134 in bank. Any discussion? Opposition? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Board Bill 134 should be amended in bank. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Alderman from the 7th, you recognize to close.
Everything froze.
Oh, sorry. I'm here. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Okay. I renew my motion to perfect Board Bill 134.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 7th, seconded by the Alderman from the 13th, the Alderman from the 23rd, and I believe the Alderman from the 6th, that we perfect Board Bill 134. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
That is the extent of board bills for perfection.
Third reading, a second. We'll dispense with line item 17. Third reading, report of engrossments.
Board Bill 90 as amended, sponsored by Alderman Boyd, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, wherein the Board of Aldermen authorizes the receipt of and appropriates funds awarded under the Emergency Solution Grant Program of the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the Missouri Secretary of State's Assistant to Local Election Authorities COVID-19 Grant Program, and the Department of Health and Human Services Relief Fund, all relating to the COVID-19 pandemic and containing an emergency clause.
Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize on third reading of Board Bill number 90 as amended.
Mr. President, I move for third reading of Board Bill 90 as amended.
It's been moved by
Second.
Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. Alderman from the 22nd, please proceed.
Yes, Mr. President, this grant authorized $4,391,329 toward homeless initiatives. It also provides $150,000 to the Board of Election to help with elections, and $181,320.45 to Health and Human Services to help out with the COVID relief efforts.
Okay. Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Any further discussion? Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize the close.
Mr. President, I renew my motion.
It's been moved by the Alderman from 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from 10th, that we third read and final pass Board Bill 90 as amended. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus,
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook,
Aye.
Alderman Bosley,
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans,
Aye.
Alderwoman Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Negracia,
Aye.
Alderman Coder,
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice,
Aye.
Alderman Gunther,
Aye.
Alderman Balmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin,
Aye.
Alderwoman Grass,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy, Alderwoman Howard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Green,
Aye.
Alderman Oldenburg,
Aye.
Alderman Roddy,
Aye.
Alderman Todd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Davis,
Aye.
Alderwoman Spencer,
Aye.
Alderman Muhammad,
Aye.
Alderman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderman Vaccaro,
Aye.
Alderman Ryan,
Aye.
Alderman Cone,
Aye.
Alderwoman Clark Hubbard,
Aye.
Alderwoman Boyd,
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro,
Aye.
President Reed,
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy.
Aye.
29 aye votes.
By your vote, staying the motion. Alderman from the 22nd, third read and finally passed Board Bill 90 as amended.
That is the extent of third reading report of engrossment.
Report of enrollment.
Board Bill 90 as amended.
All other business being suspended, the president shall in open session affix his signature hereto to the end that these may become law. Alderman from the 19th, you recognize on the motion for our courtesy resolutions calendar.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move that we adopt our courtesy resolution calendar.
Been moved by the Alderman from the
Second.
19th, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded that we adopt our courtesy resolutions calendar. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. First reading of resolutions.
Resolution 57, sponsored by President Reed, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderman Bosley, Alderwoman Hubbard, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Coder, Alderwoman Murphy, Alderman Oldenburg, Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Muhammad, Alderman Vaccaro, Alderman Ryan, and Alderwoman Boyd. Leave options for City of St. Louis employees on Election Day.
Alderwoman from the 19th, you recognize on the first reading of resolution number 57.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just would like to ask that we refer this resolution to the Public Employees Committee.
It's been moved by the Alderman from the 19th. Entertain a second on that motion.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman.
A whole lot of seconds.
I don't know why I don't know why I'm missing these today. I think it was all one from the 27th and a few other people, but we'll call it all one from the 27th. Any discussion? Alderman from the 10th.
Yes, please add me as a co-sponsor to this, please.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Please make note of that. Alderman from the 23rd. You're muted, Alderman. Alderman from the 23rd, you're muted.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I got it. I just want, so anyone listening understands that this doesn't mean there'll be poll workers outside working for candidates. It means that there's a shortage of people, elected election officials working inside, helping process, when you come in, you show your registration and that. So it isn't to let the workers off so they can become poll workers for any one candidate. This is solely to work for the Board of Elections on Election Day and strictly a nonpartisan position. I just wanted to make that clear. So if somebody's saying, gee, why are we going to let people off? It seems that, because that was the first question that went through my mind and it was cleared up, and I thought I would just make sure to make it clear that this is not to work the polls as an electioneer. It's to work the polls for the election Board of Elections because of the shortage of people wanting to work because of COVID. And that's all I really had. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman from the 18th.
I would like my name added to the resolution.
Thank you.
As a co-sponsor.
Thank you, Alderman. And Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderman from the 18th. Alderman from the 12th.
I would like to have, President Reed, I'd like to have my name added also.
All right, thank you, Alderman. Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Any further discussion? Alderman from the 4th.
Can I move that we embank this? Am I saying this right?
Yeah. Yes, you can. But, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 4th, seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd. Any discussion? I see the Alderman from the 1st. Do you object to that? You're muted. And then the Alderman from the just yes or no on this, so we can, and then I'll come back to any further discussion. I just want to see if anybody's objecting to the embank.
I am objecting.
Okay, all right. So we're not going to do the embank. We'll come back to you. Alderman from the 11th, you had your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to add my name as well. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, please make note of that at the Alderman from the 11th. All right, if there isn't any further discussion, it's been moved by the Alderman from the 19th, seconded by the Alderwoman from the 27th, that we refer this resolution to public employees. Madam Clerk, I don't think we need a roll call. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make a note of that. Assign resolution 57 to public employees.
So noted. That is our first reading of resolution.
Second reading,
We have none.
miscellaneous unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
The following meetings will be held via webinar. Tuesday, October the 20th, 2020, Public Safety will have a meeting at 10 a.m. Wednesday, October the 21st, 2020, HUD will have a meeting at 9 a.m. Rules will have a meeting at 10 a.m. Thursday, October 22nd, Public Utilities will have a meeting at 1 p.m. And Friday, October 23rd, full board meeting, 10 a.m. via webinar.
Any further announcements? Alderman from the 14th.
Yes, I'd like to make an announcement that we will have a public employees meeting on Tuesday, October 20th at 1 o'clock via webinar.
Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderwoman from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to announce that we will have a transportation meeting on Thursday at 10 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Alderwoman. Thursday at 10 o'clock. Alderman from the 23rd.
Yes, on the public safety meeting by request of Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, there will be public testimony only during the portion pertaining to the workhouse. So, and she had asked, so we'll do it only during that part. I don't know, I think we'll let Paul Payne do his presentation, and that would be limited to questions and answers from the aldermen. Other than that, we'll go ahead and take public testimony as by request of the Alderwoman Clark Hubbard from.
All right, thank you, thank you. Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Any further announcements? Excuse Alderman, I believe everyone is present today, so we dispense with line item 25 unless there's an objection. Alderman from the 22nd, you're recognized on the motion to adjourn.
Mr. President, members of the board, I move for adjournment until Friday, October 23rd, 2020.
Moved by the Alderman from the 22nd, seconded by the Alderman from the 10th and a few others. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Stand adjourned. Everybody have a safe, good weekend and a great week next week. Bye-bye.
Be safe.